Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So today's video is the best and worst of my eyeshadow palette collection. Now, I recently did a declutter video, I'll link it up here right now in the eye, of all my eye makeup, all my makeup in general. So I think it's a really good time for me to do this kind of best and worst video. I am using the one that Jessica Braun did, so it's all of her categories. I will link her video below as well. If you're not already subscribed to her and you like makeup, you have to be. She's amazing. So I'm going to get into it really quickly. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 categories to talk about, and I have picked them out of my collection to let you know what my best and worst of all of my eyeshadows are. Okay, so let's get into it. So first category is my newest eyeshadow palette. I got two around about the same time, but one I'm going to talk about later. Actually, they both could be interchangeable at this point. So my newest technically is this Natasha Denona Glam palette. I love it. It is a cool toned eyeshadow palette. The shades are fantastic. I used it once so far and I really like it. Now, I really like Natasha Denona palettes, and I think if you have the money, that's fine, but if you don't, you don't have to spend it on them. I know they can be really expensive. This one was £60. It's smaller. I'll show you the size comparison because I'm talking about the Biba in a minute as my most expensive, but I love it. I just like that it's cool toned. I do bronzy eye looks, but I do like a cool toned eye look every so often, so that is my newest eyeshadow palette. My oldest eyeshadow palette, I think, is my Lorac Pro that I think at this point I got about 3 years ago, because I've got rid of a lot of ones that I had at that time. Now this still really works for me. You can see I've made like a huge dent in that light bronze, but I haven't hit pan on any of them. But I really like the Lorac eyeshadow formula, but it is quite powdery, so if you're not into that kind of eyeshadow you might not like it. But these have just came out now on Beauty Bay. I bought all mine in America because that's where I was, and you couldn't used to buy you didn't used to be able to buy them here, but now you can. So I love it. The top row is all matte and the bottom row is all shimmer, but light to dark, it's kind of an everything palette and I really like it. So that's my oldest at this point. Okay, my most expensive eyeshadow palette has to be my Natasha Denona Biba palette. My husband bought this for me for my 30th birthday. It's a lot of money. It is. It's £125, I think. It is a lot. But I do use it. It's all neutral colours. I've used it a ton. I do really like it. And I'm glad it was a present because I really do like it. I like the Natasha Denona eyeshadow quality. I know that some people... I do think it's too expensive for what it is, but I like it. So that is definitely, like, by far, I think, my most expensive, because of it being like £125 and the rest of them not being anywhere near that, basically. My most affordable, I think, at this point is, especially for the amount of shades that's in this, because there's 12, is my Milani Bold Obsessions eyeshadow palette. So it's got 12 eyeshadow shades in it. Some mattes, some shimmers. I do really like it, and I think for the amount of shades this is possibly most affordable, especially because I bought it in America. So Milani has come out at Boots now, but it is more expensive than it would be if you bought it in America. So I'm not going to really buy anything here. I'm going to wait until I go there and then get stuff. But yeah, this is probably at this point my most affordable. It's also a really good palette because it does have a lot of colours, so you could do like a really neutral eye. You could add in that kind of like bluey grey colour, or the kind of burgundy, the bronze, the gold, the kind of gold shimmery. It's really nice. I really do like it, and I think it's worth it. Okay, an everyday palette for me, I think, is the Lorac. I have a few that I use, but the Lorac Unzipped is definitely a really good kind of everyday palette for me, and the kind of colours that I go for. So it's like neutrally kind of pinky. I either go kind of like pinky or bronzy most of the time. Today I'm kind of like bronzy, kind of deep bronze, but yeah, I've had this for a really long time as well. So I probably got it about a year after I got the Lorac Pro palette, so not as long as that. But yeah, it's really good. I like it. I have used all of the shades. This is a really good eyeshadow palette for me. Like, see if I'm getting ready downstairs, when I had my makeup bag downstairs when James was a baby, this was kind of always in it because it's a go-to. I can use it. I like my look every time when I use it. So, same thing. This is also now available on Beauty Bay. Not sponsored at all by Beauty Bay. Hi Beauty Bay, sponsor me if you like. But they've now kind of like taken they're the only place in the UK that sells Lorac eyeshadow palettes. Okay, my most colourful, I'm pretty sure is this. It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina collection, the very first one. I haven't really used it though, because I can't really use it on its own. So I would need like a neutral kind of palette to go along with it. And even though I have them, sometimes when I'm getting ready, it just kind of is in my way and it's huge. But I do like it. I'm glad I have it. I need to kind of branch out more because I do like wearing kind of like purple and pink eyeshadow looks and the red and stuff like that. So I'm going to branch out a bit more and start using it a bit more, because I kept it when I cleared out, because I do like how it looks, and I think I just need to start using it a bit more. So if you see my Instagram soon, chances are there will be some on that. Okay, my smallest eyeshadow palette I think at this point is this little Colourpop on the Daily eyeshadow palette, which I use a ton of as well. This is a really good quick go-to palette when I'm getting ready for work, because it has like a crease shade, a nice kind of shimmer for the lid, and a colour to kind of darken up my kind of crease a little bit in my outer corner, and a kind of different shimmer. So I do really like it, and I think it was maybe only like $12 possibly, or $8, something like that. I can't really remember. My biggest eyeshadow palette is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. The original one, because I've watched Jen Love's reviews and I think there's some kind of like, I think the new ones aren't as good, but the original one, I kept it because I've used it, but I haven't used it a ton. But the more I look at it, like those 4 shades, like some of these shades, look at that, those 4 shades, you can barely see any difference, as well as that one. They're not that different, and then that one as well. So I've kept it to try and kind of use it, but here soon it's probably going to be my next to be decluttered. But when I do kind of declutters again, I'm not going to be doing as big of like getting rid of as much, so I'll probably just do little ones here and there. But that is definitely my biggest palette. Okay, so my best memory is my KKW Beauty Classic Blossom palette, because of its size, I take it on a lot of trips or when we go anywhere. So when I go to an overnight with Paul, or we go away for a weekend, or when I've went to America a couple of times, when I've went on holiday, this tends to be a palette that I take because it has everything that I would need. So because of that, this is definitely like my best memory palette. It's kind of a go-to. I have 3 palettes. One that I already talked about, the Lorac Unzipped. Lorac Unzipped is my everyday, same thing. I have a couple of palettes that I would take as holiday palettes, so they tend to be my best memories. Okay, something that is new and worth the hype is Jamie Genevieve's new Vive brand eyeshadow palette, the Essential palette. Oh my goodness, one literally has just fallen out. Okay. I will 100% need to glue that. Is it a magnet? I don't understand. Anyway, so the Jamie Genevieve, the Essential palette, Vive is the brand. This was £43. Those eyeshadows are huge. Like, look at that compared to my nail. And they sold out. I think they're back now, but they sold out for a reason. They're really good. This could become a palette that I take on holidays and on travel and on trips for that exact same kind of reason, that I really like it. So in my opinion, that is quite new, has hype, and I think is worth the hype. However, my eyeshadow palette that I think is not worth the hype at all is Pat McGrath. I don't know. I got this eyeshadow palette, partly it's just so bulky. Like, look how huge this is for 6 little eyeshadows. It's like a clutch. And it has this, like, and I guess, like, artwork and all that, and I like that, but oh my goodness, it's huge. And the 6 eyeshadows are fine, and I don't know if it's maybe just the colour story that I chose, but in my opinion so far, Pat McGrath eyeshadows are not worth the hype, especially for how expensive they are. Like, I think that was £30 or £35 for those 6 eyeshadows, which to me is quite a lot. And her big eyeshadow palettes are expensive as well. Okay, my favourite from a favourite brand is, I really like Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes. I've mentioned 2 already. And I really like the Bronze palette. So this is quite new. Every shade in here is like bronzy and warm toned. And I know I said I like the cool tone, and I do, but I do like a warm eyeshadow as well. And I really like the Natasha Denona. And I'm liking these smaller palettes. So if they release Biba in a smaller eyeshadow palette, I would suggest that you get it. Right now at that price, I probably wouldn't. But if it's smaller, I quite like it. So this has 15 shades in it. It's £65, which is quite expensive. Yes, sorry, you can see how I'm filming. Here we go, phone, tripod, everything. Anyway, but I love it. And I guess you could say some of the colours are quite similar, and they probably are, but I do really like it, and I will use them all, and I'm so happy to have that. And then my most used, now this could be also like my best memory one because of the travel as well, is the Lorac Los Angeles Original Cat's Pajamas palette. Sorry. Which is quite similar to that Kim Kardashian Blossom palette, where it has the same kind of like purpley, kind of reddy shades, bronzes, golds, kind of neutral shades as well. I really, really like this. I have used it a ton since I've got it. As I've said, I take it sometimes for travel, so it's between that and this. Between that Kim Kardashian one and this are my kind of best memory, most used. Really like it. And I'm really happy with it. So thank you so much for watching, guys. This has been my best and worst eyeshadow palette collection video. I'm going to do the same one that Jessica Braun did again for foundations soon as well, and for like every part of my collection. So if you want a more in-depth look at my collection, here is a way to do it. Make sure you comment, like and subscribe, and thanks so much for watching, guys. See you soon. Bye.